All right, next item.
Well, let's talk about Senpai.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess we still have time for one more topic, but as you guys saw at the Olympics, Toshiki Yamamoto Senpai, squat Senpai, couldn't um, make any jerks, so he actually bombed out. He did really well in the snatch. He PR'd 3 kilos competition PRs, 168. But for clean and jerk, he tried to open at 200 and missed all 3 attempts. And he told me that he also missed 190 in the back. So he was definitely not in great shape for the jerk. And the main reason is he actually got, like, his injury, the pain from his injury was so bad that he couldn't step out his right leg. So the front leg during the split, he couldn't step it out. Yeah, so that's from the shin injury that he suffered like 6 years ago. I think he had that injury since 2015, right before Rio. And at first it was a shin splint, but it got worse and turned into a fatigue fracture. And he was training through and competing with that fatigue fracture for the last 6 years, and he was on a lot of painkillers, but he couldn't jerk. He couldn't jerk at the Olympics because of that.
Did it get worse like leading up to the Olympics? Because I remember Asian Championship, he was all right.
Actually, the lift that really worsened the injury was that 217 clean that he did for his third attempt. That clean apparently really messed him up. Like, he was fine. I mean, he's always in pain. His shin's always in pain. Every time he snatches, every time he squats, every time he does a clean and jerk, his shin's always in pain. So he's kind of used to it. But apparently, like, when he did that 217, like, he felt something like bad in his shin. And ever since that, if you go back and watch all of Toshiki's training footage on YouTube and Instagram, he hasn't posted a single back squat because he physically couldn't do a back squat because he was in so much pain. Yeah, so he was actually not in shape. Like, he was going through a lot of pain. He was trying to get it fixed, but it didn't work. It didn't work out for him.
So what now? Is he going to retire?
Oh, so I asked him, but he definitely plans to, continue competing, and he wants to compete at Rio if possible. And he decided to get a surgery, and I think he's getting surgery next week. So today's August 8th. So Toshiki is planning to get surgery on around 18th, 19th, I think. And I mean, it's about time because he had that since 6 years ago. He should have
had that 6 years. He should have taken care of it early. But I think, it's tough, man. Injuries, especially chronic injuries, nagging injuries, are really, really tough to.
He actually tried to fix it around Rio because he didn't get picked for Rio, so he wasn't competing for a while. So he tried to fix it back then. He took like 3-4 months off completely, but like the first day back in the gym, like the fatigue fracture apparently came back. Like the first snatch he did in the training room, like messed up his shin. So he kind of gave up because he had to restart training and then start competing because, the race for Tokyo was starting soon. So he had to qualify for the national team, like get a spot for the international competing team. And so like he didn't really have the timing to get it fixed. And even back in 2015, 2016, he was really worried about getting kicked out of the national team and losing his job at Alsoc. Alsoc is the company that he's representing.
The security company.
The security company. And he was really concerned about getting fired from Alsoc because he was about to lose his spot on the national team. So, yeah, he was going through way too much to, really consider getting his shins fixed up. And the injury got worse, and then the shin finally gave up on him at the worst timing possible. So that's what happened.
I mean, you have to remember, Toshiki also had a dislocated elbow, right, at one point in his career. And I think this is something that he can overcome after the surgery. he's a veteran in this sport, and I don't think he'll lose much after his surgery in terms of strength, because that potentiation is still there. He could still develop back into it as long as he trains smarter. I think now that he's older, he's what, 29?
He's 30.
He's 30, right? He's my age. So, it's important to know that, you're not any younger. So he can still develop his strength, but he needs to really train smarter, But I guess my next question would be, should he have pulled out earlier so that another Japanese lifter could have had a chance? And if that was the case, who would have been that lifter? Would it have been Tank or Mochida? Who do you think would have been a better pick?
It would have been Mochida for sure, I think. Just because of the ranking, I think Mochida was slightly higher than Tank. And he did decently well at the Asians and the competition in Colombia after that. So I think it would have been him.
I think to be honest though, if he was chosen, he wouldn't have done Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have just prepared for Tokyo, for Olympics. But unfortunately,
no, he still had to go to Colombia because he didn't have enough competitions. He didn't have 6 competitions.
Oh, he didn't?
Yeah, he didn't. So he had to compete at Colombia no matter what.
Well, that's a surprising thing too, because Kasai had to go through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what surprised me the most was the fact that they didn't put Kasai in World Championships in 2019.
Yeah, that's because he lost his spot. Yeah, he lost. There was like a internal a ranking qualification system in Japan, and apparently Kasai didn't make it. I don't know the details, but
so how many did they send then? Because in Japan there was only the 67.
Yeah, they sent like 2 guys at 2019.
Yeah, Yoichi and the 67. Oh no, they sent 3.
They sent Ioroi as well. They sent the guy,
the 73, right?
Yeah, and then Hirata Kaito is the guy that you were just about to mention, and then they also sent
Olympian from Rio.
Yeah,
from Rio.
Yeah.
He was a 67.
Yeah, I think so.
There was more than one. Yeah, there was more than one 67.
Takao was also sent. But Takao, the one annoying thing about Takao is that he retired right after 2019 Worlds.
Yeah.
So Kasai was pretty upset about that. He's like, bro, like you could have let me compete. Like, why? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, But it is what it is in terms of like how internal selections are made.
Yeah.
That's not our jurisdiction. I think we can only comment on it, right?
But Mochida also tweaked his elbow at Colombia. That 183 snatch, he missed it behind him, and apparently it messed up his elbow a little bit. So he actually wasn't able to put anything on his front rack for like a while, for a couple of months, I think. So either way, Toshiki, Mochida both would have been out of shape because they were injured.
So it would have been Tank then.
I don't think Tank qualified.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he did. Did he?
I saw a lot of lifters there that I've never, like, honestly, in the super heavyweights, I've seen lifters I've never ever seen, dude. So, yeah. I was like, oh, there's a guy from Bulgaria? I have never seen this lifter. I think even the 109s. I was
yeah, some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Tank might have qualified if he used the Asian continental spot. Maybe. I'm not too sure about it. Yeah. But anyways, Toshiki can't, like, he told me it's like really painful to just walk right now, so he's not. Yeah, so he definitely needs to get it fixed up. But he told me that once he gets it healed, his shin, he told me that he's for sure can do greater numbers. Yeah.
Well, let's see how his recovery goes. You know, the most important aspect is the rehab.
Mhm.
Yeah.